Got some more good stuff today. I already unwrapped it. But I got this gold tape that I used for my heat shield that I made. I only got 15 feet, so I'm gonna use the rest of it now for my shroud right here. Obviously, most of it's gonna go down here on the bottom because that's where the heat is gonna come from. And then if I have any left, I'll do the top just to see how it looks. If I don't like it, I'll peel it off the top, but I am definitely gonna wrap this entire bottom with that gold tape. If I like how it looks, I might do the box, the fuse box. I don't know, we'll see. If you haven't seen it, I already opened it. But I got the AEM AFR gauge right here. Bam. Airflow ratio gauge. Now I had the Grimspeed Cat J pipe, so it has that third bong. So I just got to screw that in there. Should be a fairly simple install. Got the wires. Bam, bam. Now I did go ahead and get, I'll probably use this white plate too instead of the black one. Alright, so you're also going to need, got all this shit in the way. I'm going to solder. You guys don't need to if you don't want. I'm going to. You're going to need one of these. That's where you're going to get your power from. The only wires you utilize on these are going to be red and black. Black being ground, red being power. And to power it, you're going to want one of these fuse taps that you stick in your fuse box and then put another fuse in the taps right there. But instead of using that quick connect, I'm going to cut that wire off and solder it on. So that's why I got that solder gun. You don't have to. You can use the quick connect. I just would rather solder. Heat shrink for that when I'm done soldering. Got that for the grounds, which they didn't have any fucking small ones, so I had to get this whole pack just to use that one little small one down there. Whatever. And I got two of these because I am going to get a boost gauge also later on. And some extra fuses. Well, I ended up getting this on Amazon. I don't think I'm going to use this, to be honest with you. Or long term, I should say. But it goes on the pillar. It's just one that will sit on the pillar like this and have a gauge. But I found one online. I'll show you right here. That's the one that I'm most likely going to use. And the three gauges I'll use will be my airflow ratio, boost, and then I'm thinking a coolant. But now I gotta do this install. I'm going to have to look. I'll probably wire it, take this panel off. Fuse box is right here, and I'll wire it up through this panel and come up here like I did my Accessport, and then come up here, and then that's where my wiring will be. And then I'll tap it to the fuse box, and then the other one will go down there. And I gotta find, I'll get some light when I do it, but I gotta find a grommet or the firewall where I can feed that wire through. So essentially it'll come out somewhere over here. I have no fucking idea where yet. I gotta look for a spot, and then it will come after it comes through the firewall. It'll come down there, through down there somewhere, and then tap into there. So I'm going to look at that thing. There it is, my heat shield. I'm going to have to look for all that shit first, and then once I actually find out where I'm going to route all these wires and stuff, then I'll do a video clip of it and show you guys. But yep, let me get this going. All right, so I think here's your master cylinder, and then right behind these lines there's this grommet. I'm gonna pop that out. I think that actually goes through the firewall. Let's see. Yo, so shouts out to Flaming Pinhead. I watched his video, and he's the one that actually came up with this. But that grommet that I showed you, I popped it out, right? And then you see that foam? I poked a little hole using just this little poker. I poked a hole. Then I grabbed this long ass flathead screwdriver, and I poked it all the way through to see where it came out. And this is where it comes out. Perfect spot. Get some light. Bam, you see it? out right there. It came out right here at that hole. This is the screwdriver. There's the tip of it. Came out of that hole. So went all the way through, came out right there, and that's perfect. So that's where I'm going to run my wire. The hard part is actually get the wire through. So I'm going to need to get this end through that firewall, which is pretty big. Then I'll probably tape this end to the flathead and then use that to kind of push it all the way through. So we'll see. But other than that, this obviously will go to the J pipe. This end plugs into that end. This comes up and plugs into your, bam, back there, your sensor. Then this wire, we're going to tap or solder that on. This side gets on the other side of that. And then that's gonna route up through that column or down that column, like I said, and tap into the fuse. So I need to try to get this through that grommet or through the firewall that I just showed you. So let me try that. All right, so you can see I made a little hole. I just got this long flathead and just kept poking it through, poking it through, poking it through. Essentially, I made that nice little hole. Hopefully it's enough. We'll see. I'm still going to utilize this grommet. I thought about drilling a hole in there, but it had to be a pretty big ass hole to put that through. So instead what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna feed this wire through first, and I'm gonna drill a small hole in the middle there and then cut it to the hole. That way I can get this and slip it through the wire and then push this back in instead of having a big ass hole in the middle just to fit that through. So I'm gonna do it that route. So yeah, let me tape this to this and then try to feed it through. All right, so I just taped those two spots. And now I'm going to try to push it through. And it's not working because that needs to be bigger. But yeah, just make that hole in the fucking foam bigger, and then it went through easy. I think it's like 1 inch of foam or 1/2 inch of foam maybe. But just make sure you make that hole nice and big so it goes through. But yep, there it is. Here's my wire coming out. Now I'll feed that all the way down there and go to the J pipe, but first I'm gonna do the inside. Our fella's gotta fit through. Now I just gotta make sure I have enough wire to, I'm going to feed it probably under there like I said. Come out of here and come up. Make sure you have enough wire to get wherever you're going. If it's up here, some people go through the middle and then go to the column over here, but wherever. But I mean, they supply you with so much wire that you don't gotta worry about that shit. There's plenty of wire, so yeah. Get under the car. Where am I? Here I am. I gotta take that out so I can screw that in. I'm gonna torque it down at 25 foot-pounds. No, 21 foot-pounds. But there's my wire. Here. I fished it in between these two lines. But then I got all this slack, so I'm gonna screw that in. I'm gonna screw this in. And the other side plugs up to this. And then I'm gonna pull all this slack through the firewall because I'd rather have all this slack in the cabin than on the outside of the car. So I'm gonna have a little bit of slack, obviously. But then I'll zip tie it down to certain things, and then I'll have the majority of the slack in the cabin, which I'll zip tie together, you know, like that. So yeah, let me get this off, put that O2 sensor in, hook this up, and then pull the rest of the slack up and then zip tie all this and button it up, and then we'll work on the inside. All right, so now we're gonna solder. I stripped these wires. Red's power, black's ground. Put the heat shrink on this one, and I stripped that. I'm just gonna fast forward through this soldering process because one, I'm shit at soldering, so I don't want to sit here and teach you how to do something the wrong way. But yeah.
So yeah, as you can see, it sucks ass. But they're on there, boy. I mean, it's on there. I mean, it's a shitty job, but it's on there. So fuck it. Let's slide this over. Where's my ladder? I'll heat this up. Yeah, there we go. Now I gotta get the black and get this. Get that through. Yeah, so got this soldered, this on there, got that on there, good to go. Alright, update. So I got it plugged in, got it routed up there. I haven't zip tied anything yet, but I'll get to that in a minute. But I got it plugged in. Comes up to here. Now this I will electric tape this whole thing. Like I said, I'll zip tie it to something to keep it nice and stationary, but I got it going through. Here it is. And then obviously you've seen I did this, got this all hooked up. So now I'm going to tap this into the fuse box. Number 20, I'm gonna tap this into there, and then put that fuse in here. Put another fuse in here, and then I'm gonna ground it to probably, I don't know, that bolt maybe. No, can't do that one. Maybe that bolt down there. I don't know. I'm gonna ground it somewhere though. But then I'm gonna hook everything up and hook the sensors up, turn the car on, or at least the accessory mode, just to see if everything works. Should have did that first before running all this wire, but fuck it. Then if everything works, then I'm gonna find out how to route all this in there. But so far, I'm almost done. So yep. Alright, so got it plugged in. I actually grounded it over there to this stud that was coming out, and I just put another bolt from the heat shield, rested as a bolt. But I just put another bolt on there, so there's the ground going to that. It's plugged in. I got them both plugged into here. So now I'm gonna just put the car in accessory mode and see if this shit even works. Where's my keys at? There, it works. Hell yeah. Now, just gotta clean up that old fucking mess and put this shit up. Nice. Alright, check it. It all went to hell. So, I just did some ghetto shit for now, but I'll explain everything and why. So, originally my plan was to run these wires, look at that clumped up down there, up through this side panel, up through here, just like my Accessport, and then come up this column. Problem is, this stupid ass shit that I bought from Amazon, this pod, didn't even work, right? My fault, should have researched it more. This didn't work. And even if it did work, it wouldn't have worked because these wires are thick as shit. And for both of them to come up through here, and then to try to feed through here, and then to come up, it was just ridiculous. And then it had all this wire hanging. And both these wires are too thick to feed through this weather liner, so I can't go that route. I don't want to pull this off because the airbag's under there, and then even then, I don't know where it's going to go. So, I mean, I really couldn't do nothing. I can't go up through this way like I did my Accessport. Hell, my Accessport is barely enough. And to try to fit these two also, it wasn't going to work. So now I know why everybody gets those gauge pods that come in here or go up there. Because you can essentially just take this off and feed the wires to the back. I believe, I don't know. I'll look it up, but yeah, so learn from my mistakes. So now I just did some super ghetto shit. I zip tied it to my vent like that, just to hold it up for now. And then I got them down here. You can see I got it behind my clutch or my gas, it's not gonna hit it. And then I zip tied it up there, so it's not in the way of anything. And then I just got this big ass bundle and zip tied it. And I'll probably zip tie it and so it can hold up there like this, just for now. And then I have that there. So I'm gonna just leave it like this now. Obviously not forever, but for a couple days. I'm gonna have to order. So yeah, learn from me. Don't do it like that. For some reason, I just thought I could fit all that through there, and I can't. And this isn't even on right, so I gotta fix that. But yeah, so for now, I'm riding like that. Ghetto as shit. But I mean, it'll work, shit. For now, at least for a couple days. So, and for a last minute, I mean, I have no gauge pod, so I had no idea what to do with that. I was gonna tape it up here. I mean, I was gonna do a whole bunch of stupid shit, but for coming up with a last minute way to rock this for a couple days until I get that gauge pod, it actually came out pretty dope. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's shit. It's shit, right? But it's good shit, at least for now. At least it's not dangling somewhere, you know what I mean? So yeah. Just wanted to show you guys. I could have easily edited all this out, got the right gauge pods and did all that, but I just wanted to show you, you know, when you work on cars, man, it doesn't always go the right way. Sometimes you got to redo shit. But I just want to show you this now, and then in a couple days, but for you it's going to be a couple seconds, I will show you how I did it. All right, fellas, so I'm back. Got my stuff. So a couple things going on. One, this didn't work. What was happening was I'd start the car, it'd do its little cycle, and then just lean out every single time, right? So when you troubleshoot these gauges, especially the AFR gauges, it can only be 4 possible things. 1, your power. 2, your ground. 3, your connection, the connector connection. Or 4, the sensor. Let me tell you, 95% of the time, it's the sensor. So, because I bought this off Amazon, and I'm a Prime member, it's, you know, free returns, no questions asked. But what they ended up doing is sending me a whole nother one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try this one and then see if it works. And if it does, I'm gonna send the other one back. Now I am pretty positive it's the sensor. So all I'm going to do in this one is take the sensor out, the actual sensor, and swap it with the one on the car, and then put the bad sensor in here and just send this back to them. I'm pretty sure it's a sensor, but I did end up getting this. Let me open it and show you real quick. So it's this gauge pod, and what this does is it has this, and it basically replaces this vent up here, and this will sit like this up here. Now I know in the last I said you can't run it this way and stuff like that. I was wrong. After doing some more research, you can. If you want to get the gauge pod up here, you can completely take this off. There's enough room back there to run the wires. If you want to run it through here, you run it just, instead of running it through this side like I did, I'll take this panel off and show you, but you'll just basically go behind everything and then come up through this vent, and that's how you run that. So I got this. I'm gonna put this here. I actually got another one coming that's gonna come on this side. So this will sit here, and then another pod will come off this other side. That will either be my boost or coolant. I'm not sure yet. I do like the one that goes here, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll rock this one for a little bit since I already bought it, and then we'll go from there. But I got the car jacked up. Oh yeah, one other thing. I think I said I was going to leave all the slack in the car. No, fuck that. I'm gonna leave all the slack in the engine bay. So I'm gonna tighten it up all here so I have less wires in the car. And I will, let me show you. And I will get all this slack and basically have it bundled up right here, wrap it up, make it look nice and clean, and zip tie it to something over here. When I figure it out, I'll show you. Zip tie it to something over here, you know. But I'd rather have the slack in the engine bay because it's just too much wires to have in the car, especially by your feet down there. I don't like it. I also still got to drill that
that rubber grommet that goes there and put that back. But yeah, let me go ahead and take all the slack out, pull this through, go under the car, and take that out and replace it with the new sensor, and then we'll see if it works. Then if it works, then I'll go ahead and do the in the cabin shit and get that for you guys. So I just took the old one out. I'm about to put the new one in. But yeah, let me put this in and we'll see. All right, the only thing I swapped out was the sensor. So let's see if I was right. So far, so good. Yep, that was it. It was just a sensor. Like I said, 95% of the time it's just gonna be a sensor. So cool, gauge is working. Now I got to wire or route the wires. So let's do it. All right, so I'm gonna start with the inside. First thing, we gotta take this off. It's pretty simple. So then take this screw out, and this whole piece just pops off. You can see right here, just pop it off. I'm gonna need 2 hands to do that, so yeah. So just give it a little tug and it pops off. It's clipped in right here. Those 4 top tabs, 1, 2, 3, 4, are in there, and just pop it all out, and then it'll hang. If you want, you can unclip these to completely move this, but with it just hanging like that should be plenty of room. But if you want, you can move this, but I'm gonna just leave mine hanging. Okay, you're gonna want to get this out. I think the easiest way is with pry tool, and just stuff it down and then pop it up like that. Bam. So the way I got my wire is, where is it at? Right here. So remember, it came out of my location up there. I put it to the left of my gas, under my steering column. And it's gonna, I'll tie all this down a little bit. But here it is. So I fished it up. It's right here. And now, it's hard to do with one hand, but here it is. So now I'm basically gonna go up and then go up through there, like that. All right, there we go. Here it is. So I'll measure the length, not measure, but I'll find the length and I'll put everything in, and then I'll pull that slack down back through the firewall and zip tie the slack in the engine bay. But first, in order to fit, where is it? And this piece goes here, but the wires have to come up, so you gotta drill a hole through here, right here. I'm probably just gonna cut it. I'll probably just cut this off like this, something like that. Then you also gotta cut it in there. You see? Probably cut this little piece off like this. I'll show you how I cut it, but yeah. All right, so I cut that like that. I didn't have my Dremel, but if I did, I guess it'd look nicer, but it's in there, you know what I mean? But yeah, I cut it with just some scissors like that. I cut here, folded it back, and just broke it off. I'll probably put some electrical tape right here because these edges are kind of jagged, but this thick ass wire, wherever it is.
It doesn't matter. But yeah, and then in here, you can see I cut it. Let me so you see I cut it like that, and then I just folded this down, my thumb like that, and bam, just like that. So now essentially this is what it'll look like. This wire will sit in there like that, and then this, get through there. So it sits in like that, and then this clamps in there. I'm not gonna clamp it down yet, but you get it. And there's our wire now. So then when it's time, that wire will go through this bottom. See it? So I can't do it one hand, but yeah, it goes through the bottom, goes through, and then this clamps in like that. So let me just do all that real quick. All right, so it looks like I went ahead and just put this piece on. It just slides on and one screw. But yep, fish your wire up through the vent, up to the bottom here. Here it is. Plenty of slack. I don't need that much, so I don't need like that much. But yeah, now I need to fish my other wire up through there. Where is it? Nope. My power wire, which is right here. I'm going to fish this one all the way up through there. All right, so I made a mistake. I had to take this back out and to fit this other wire because it was just too hard to try to squeeze it through all that. So I just took this back off, fed the other wire through, and then put it back together. There it is though. Got my two wires out. Yeah, once I get my gauge hooked up, I'll set it in there. I'll pull all this slack down, and then I'll pull the slack to the O2 sensor through the firewall right here, and then I'll bundle it up and zip tie it to maybe this or something, and then electric tape it so it's nice and sealed. And then I'll pull all the slack to my electrical wire right here and probably bundle it up, and then maybe zip tie it, tuck it somewhere down in here and zip tie it. But let me do all that first, and then I'll show you what it looks like. There it is, looking good. Got my wires nice and zip tied. I also zip tied my Accessport wires, bundled them up, zip tied them, tucked them in the corner, zip tied them to that little bracket. Those are nice and stationary. Got this back in. My Accessport wire, I'm gonna feed up there, so Accessport's gonna stay up there. And my second gauge will come off of this side. But yep, now I just need to pull this slack through the firewall, button up this side, and then I'm good. I also did this. I ran out, but I did the bottom. I don't know if you can see. I did the entire bottom, which is pretty good. Then I had a little bit left and I put it on the top. I don't know if I like it yet. Obviously I'm not done. When I get my next roll, I'll cover everything up, and then I'll see if I like it. If I like it, I'll keep it on the top. If not, I'll peel the top off. But I do got it on the bottom, which is more important anyways. But yeah. Yep, my intake's coming soon. Tuesday. My flex fuel sensor's coming on Tuesday. My fuel pump I got today, so I need to install that probably on Monday. I don't know yet. We'll see. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of this. But I have it on there for now, so we'll see. But yep, pull this slack through. Then I'll zip tie and button all this up and then show you what it looks like. All right, looking clean. All right, so showed you that, got all that. We should have the airflow ratio wire. Zip tied it to that, fed it under the carpet right there. Got a zip tied to that. Then it's going up through the firewall. Pulled it through the firewall. And then I bundled it up, used a metal zip tie right there. And then I wrapped the hell out of it with some electrical tape.
There it is. I pulled the slack from the bottom. So there it is, plugged up. And I got a zip tied to that. And then the slack pulled up, so. That's all, folks. Just got to zip tie this somewhere, maybe like this, bam. And then that's it. Just zip tie it like this to this. And that's it. When I get some more gold tape, I might gold tape around all that. Oh, I just cut myself. Look at that. The fuck? Cut myself on the metal zip tie. But yep, I'm done. It's also cold as fuck out here, man. It's like, I think it's -2 degrees or some shit. It's so cold, my zip ties are fucking breaking. So I had to use that metal one. All right. Yo. There it is. I had some of that heat sleeve left, so I just wrapped it. Got it in there zip tied. I couldn't get that in, so I'm gonna do that a little bit later. It's fucking cold out here, and I don't want to squeeze my hands in there, so, but there it is. It's so cold that I can't get the suction cup to stick to the window for my Accessport. So I gotta warm the inside of the car first before I can even stick it on there. That's how cold it is. But I'm gonna start the car and show you. I'll also show you how fucking cold it is. All right, so it's actually been a couple days, and I'll tell you why. All right, so the last video I made, well, for you guys, it was just what, like a minute ago. I tested the sensor and I thought it worked. It actually didn't, because once I plugged everything back up and I started the car, after about 45 seconds of idle, it fucking leaned out again. All right, so it was 2 sensors that AEM sent me. Those Bosch sensors failed. So because I am an Amazon Prime member, and if you don't know what Amazon Prime is, 1, you're living under a rock, but 2, long story short, basically, if it's a Prime product, you can buy it 30 days, money back, guaranteed, full refund, no questions asked, right? So I bought these off Amazon. They shipped from MA Performance, right? So I bought the first one, hooked it up, sensor failed. You guys seen that in the video. So I had to wait 2 days. Amazon sent me another one. What I did was I just replaced the sensor, because I knew it was the sensor. I just knew it was the sensor. So I replaced the sensor. Like you see in the video, I thought it worked until I plugged everything up, and then after 45 seconds of idle, it fucking leaned out. Sensor failed again. So I thought to myself, all right, fuck this. This is some bullshit. I was just gonna take everything back. But then after watching Smedia's video, I know he had the same exact issue. So he ended up buying another sensor. So that's what I did. I ended up buying this sensor right here. The LSU 4.9 wideband sensor. So I just bought that sensor, which was also a Prime product. And I said to myself, okay, if this sensor doesn't work, then I'm gonna just send all this shit back, get all my money back, and go with the boost gauge instead. But that sensor worked. So as you can see, car's been idling for a little bit. I've been driving all day. Sensor works. Hit the gas. Sensor works fine. So that LSU 4.9 wideband sensor fucking works. All right. So the 2 Bosch sensors that AEM sent me were garbage. So if you're having this issue where your sensor is just, or your gauge is just leaning out, like I said, 95, it can only be 4 things: ground, power, that connector, or your sensor. 95% of the time, it's going to be the sensor, or the location of the sensor, depending on your setup and stuff like that. But 95% of the time, it's going to be your sensor. And for my instance, like you've seen, it was the sensor twice. First time it was the sensor, they sent me another one, so I got 2 defective sensors in a row. So fuck AEM and those Bosch sensors. But this sensor works. The LSU 4.9 wideband sensor works. I don't know how long it's gonna work. I'll let you know when it fails, but it's working all day. It's been working all day. So that actually worked. So now I got a gauge there. Finally, fucking sensors, man. Sensors. But I did end up returning the other one back and all that stuff, so I'm good to go. But yep, it works. I did order another pod, so I'll have a pod come out right here, and that'll be boost pressure. And I'm contemplating on getting a third one up here, so it'll be one, and then second one right here, and the third one pops up over here, or I can have it come over here. But since my access port's right there, I'll probably have 3 coming this way. But that one will probably be coolant, because I want to monitor coolant temperatures too. That way on my access port, if you can see, fine knock or feedback knock, damn, fine knock learn on this side. Then since I'm going stage 3 actually next week, by the end of next week I should be stage 3, I'll need to monitor ethanol content and fuel pressure. So I'll have probably airflow learning. So I'll have ethanol content, fuel pressure, and airflow learning. Then I'll have airflow ratio, boost, and then I want coolant. Then all I'm missing is IATs basically. But yeah, I don't know yet. We'll see what's going on. But yeah, the gauge looks good, man. I like that little pod and stuff. It looks pretty cool. You know what I mean? I like the ones on the pillar too, but that actually looks pretty cool. And once I put that second one there, I want to kind of see what it looks like. But I actually like it. It works. LSU 4.9 wideband sensor fixed my issue. Fuck Bosch and those sensors, 2 defective sensors they sent me. But yeah, there it is. It works. Here's gas. Yep. So cool, man. All right, fellas. So update on stage 3. I got car parts. Just can't fucking do anything yet. Here is my boost controller, 3-port. Here is my Cobb flex fuel kit. Bam. Here's my fuel pump. Bam. And then TGV deletes and EGR delete. All I am missing is my Grimspeed cold air intake, which I bought 7 days ago, and it said it shipped 7 days ago, and it's supposed to be here today. But after looking at FedEx tracking, it hasn't even left Michigan yet. So, you know, due to this fucking snowstorm, I can't do anything, and it sucks ass. All this shit, I can't do nothing because of all of this. It's too cold to install all these parts. Also, I planned on getting a tune with Ron Watson, and I'm not going to be able to send data logs or do third gear pulls and shit on icy roads. So that's also holding me back. So hopefully all this snow goes away by next week. I'll be able to install all this good shit. Hopefully my cold air intake comes in next week, and then I can start tuning. Best case scenario, the end of next week, I should have all this installed, a base mat from Ron Watson, and I should be starting my flex fuel tune, hopefully. Yeah, but until then, I will see you in the next video.